Hi guys, this is Skittflash here, and welcome to my new Let's Play. This is Mega Man Battle Network 5, Team Proto Man. Yes, I must admit, this is certainly out of the blue. Totally a random choice, but I was trying to decide what game I wanted to Let's Play. And it just occurred to me that I kind of want to, I don't know, maybe I felt nostalgic, I wanted to stick with what I knew, and I know this game pretty well. Or rather, I have a strategy guide that knows this game pretty well, but it's definitely one of my childhood favorites, a favorite today. I really want to, I don't know many people who actually know this game. If you know this game, you're awesome. You're awesome anyways for watching this video, but, um, yes, I will be Let's Playing this game. Preferably, it's going to be 100%, which is a very big task. This game is actually pretty huge. It's not as big as all the RPGs I've been doing as of late, but it's still going to be a very long game. And my nose is getting so stuffed right now. Oh my gosh, why? But yes, here we are introduced to our heroes. This is Lad, the sleeping 4th grader. And, who hasn't finished his homework. I can really relate to him on a supreme level. Oh my gosh, I'm going to be so nasally. I sound like totally different right now. And Mega Man, yes. This is not any Mega Man though, this is Mega Man.exe. This world is all technological and whatnot. And yes, so it's a spin-off of the Mega Man series, so it's sort of a action RPG, I guess you could say. We got our personal terminal, this is where Mega Man chills out. This is the duo, Lad and Mega Man. We're gonna go procrastinate on the internet, that's the best way to get your homework done. Yeah, this hits me on a personal level, man. And no, we're not going into the internet just yet, we gotta do something with Mom. Okay, we'll talk to Mom right now, but first I need to clear my stuffed nose. Oh my god. Oh yes, and we got email, because this is the wave of the future. And it's just tutorial stuff that I don't want to look at, so no, none of this. I will be explaining everything I need to explain on my own, but first off. Okay, I've come to the conclusion that I just really need to tilt my head upwards in order for my nose to not get totally stuffed. But that's problematic because I have to look down on my computer. Or maybe if I sit on the ground, maybe that would work. But our mom's asking us to do an errand on the internet because this is the wave of the future. It's the year 19XX. So futuristic, right? I don't even know what that stands for. I guess times 10 times 10. That's the only conclusion I can come up with. So, anywho's, yes, this game involves traveling the internet. We're jacking into computers and whatnot. The world is all based. There's no real world crime anymore. I think they said that in the beginning. Well, crime is internet-based now, as weird as that is. But here we are on the internet, this is where the Mega Man portion of the game is. And these are the main enemies of the game, not metals. Actually, they're not even metals in this game, they're metors. But viruses, of course, we live in an internet world, viruses are going to be the main enemies of this game. And we're going to be doing a tutorial. I don't need to watch any of this, so I'll try to explain things right now. This is the main battle system of the game. Again, very different from classic Mega Man. Kind of like an RPG, action RPG. Although, I don't know if I could explain it. Like, it's really unique. There's not a single game I can think of off the top of my head that's, like, quite like this game. It has a very interesting style. We got HP, so yes, there's the action part of it. We got the custom gauge. When the custom gauge fails, we can access new chips, and chips are the main way we actually fight enemies. By pressing A, we use the chip. We can have up to 5 chips per round of customness, but more often than not, you're probably not going to be using 5 chips at a time, because chips actually work on a set of rules. For one thing, the only way you can actually use more than one chip is if they're of the same variety, which means if there's 2 cannons, then we can use 2 cannons, or if they're of the same code, as you can see. Both of these chips are S-coded, so that means we can use both of them. If we had 5 S chips, we could use 5 S chips at once, and then before having to actually go back to the custom gauge. So this is area grab. It's a very useful skill in conjunction with swords, because swords can actually only do damage in the row right in front of you. Oh god, oh, I wasn't paying attention there. Swords can only hurt in the row in front, but they do a ton of damage, as you can see. 80 is a lot of damage at this point in the game, and it's a ton of damage throughout the game, honestly. It's a significant amount, at least. Certainly enough to kill these metals, or metors, I guess you could say. So much different. But yes, this tutorial is actually, I swear to god, it's just recycled from the entire game. Like, they use it in every single tutorial. It's always the first round is showing how you can actually use 2 of the same type. The second round is showing how you can use 2 of the same code, and the third round is, I guess, full synchro wasn't added until 4. Speaking of which, I understand this is probably a weird entry to be entering the series in 5. I'm just doing it 5 because 5 is my favorite. You don't exactly have to know the story to, you know, be able to. You can play the games in any order you want, really. There's no like huge, like, you know, plot twist in one game that's just going to prevent you from understanding anything in this game. All you have to know is that we're Mega Man and Lan, and we're heroes, and we save the world, even though no one really gives us credit for that. We've saved the world 4 times, and no one really cares. Of course, we lose all our powers after every game, so maybe that's why no one cares, because we are chumps at the moment. Our chip code is pretty nah. As you can see, the way this game operates is mainly by chips. You know, that's your main form of attacking. We can customize chips. You can customize your chip folder. We can have 30. Well, actually, you have to have a folder of 30 chips, which means, you know, those are the attacks. You can customize it to do what you want to do. And you also want to make it streamlined. We don't have any chips to edit right now, but you definitely want to, you know, make sure things are right, I suppose you could do. Try to get into the habit of learning how to counterattack, full synchro counterattacks, because having the ×2 chip bonus, I didn't really explain that. Full synchro is when you actually, when you attack an enemy right before they attack you, like so. The next chip attack becomes twice as powerful. You'll lose the ability if you actually get hit, but once you use the chip, it becomes twice as powerful, and you can actually see, like, you start to actually see what their weaknesses open up, so you can actually continuously get full synchro more easily that way. But yes, this is ACDC area. I swear that's the name of a band. This is Lan's hometown, I suppose you could say. I did not organize that correctly. But anywho's, as long as you get full synchro, you know, your attack 20 becomes, your 20 air cannon becomes a 40 air cannon, which is enough to kill those guys. The chip I used was Buster Up, which increased my Buster power by 10. Mega Man still has the Mega Buster. It's not as useful at this moment in time. It only does 10 damage, and it takes forever to charge up. Later in the game, we will be able to actually upgrade that, but for now, it's stuck at its base power of bad. And we get 3 cannon chips. Lovely. We can actually kill all these enemies. I will be cutting most battles. I mean, in moments like this, when we actually get a good chip setup, they actually, you know, end really quickly. But if I get totally just horrible luck, and or I just get wrecked, or I just have nothing to actually, you know, talk about during the battle, I probably will just cut it out. But yes, ACDC Area 1 is the first area of the game. It's very simple. As long as you follow the green path, you'll pretty much go where you need to go. You can go on the blue paths, you know, off the beaten track to get hidden goodies, which you want to get, because, yeah, that's just how exploring works, I suppose. Oh, okay, so these guys, they have a harder full synchro counter. I feel like I'm talking about this game like we're so, like, acquainted with it already, even though this is the first part. It feels so weird. There's just so much to explain. Pretty much this entire Let's Play is just going to be explaining until, like, I run out of stuff to explain, in which case I'm going to be a lost soul, because I'll have nothing to talk about. But anywho's, this is, of course, as a Mega Man game, Mega Man's special power is that he can gain the powers of his beaten enemies. And that sort of works into this game too. Essentially, if you look, when we beat an enemy and we do well enough in a battle, we'll get their chip. Like, for example, Mark Cannon 1 and Guard A, we beat the Mentals and the Cannons, we get their powers. Pretty simple. You have to do good in the battles. You get great on your battle performance. The better you do, the more likely you are to actually get the enemy chip, which is good. You always want the enemy chip because, again, as I've stated before, 100% sort of entails getting all the chips in the game. And there's a ton of chips in the game, and that's going to be a huge task, and I don't even know if I'm going to do it or not. If I'm up to the challenge, but I definitely will try. The Vulcan series, the chip I just used, is actually one of my favorite chips to use. It hits 3 different times for 10 damage. That might seem low, it only does 30 damage total. But because it hits 3 times, because of it hits 3 times, chips like Attack plus 10 applies to all 3 times, which means Attack plus 10 essentially becomes Attack plus 30. And then if you're in full synchrono mode, when you do that, then it's like attack plus like, then it's like 120 damage. You can just, it multiplies damage like a lot, and it's really cool, and I don't even know what I'm talking about anymore. That was copy damage. That chip is the chip that will lead me to victory. Let's look at it right now while I edit my chip folder. Where is this chip? Copy damage. Basically, you target an enemy, and then any damage you do on other enemies will be applied to that enemy. It really helps when it comes to actually to virus busting when there's a lot of viruses on the on the screen, because then you can just kill multiple viruses at once, and it's the best thing ever. It's literally the chip that will carry me to victory. These are shops. You want to buy HP memory. This is the main thing you want to focus on whenever you're buying stuff. Essentially, every HP memory increases your maximum HP by 20. And again, part of 100% in this game includes getting all the HP memory, getting the max HP. So, it's essentially just going to be we're going to have to get all the HP memory. It's a very big journey I'm embarking on, honestly, the more I think about it. So again, as you do good on the battles, you get more Mark Cannon chips, or just any kind of chips. The basic strategy of this game, and what's going to separate a good player from a fantastic player, is how well you organize your chip folder. Basically, as you can see, I have a lot of different letters. These are wild cards. You kind of want a lot of these because those cards just act as can be any letter they want. You want as few letters as possible, though, because again, you can only use chips of the same letter at any one point in time. Meaning that if you have a lot of different letters, like right now, then you can only use like one chip or two chips because of that. Again, because of the wild card. And that becomes problematic, because you don't want that, because that just makes things take forever. Because then the battles, drag on, and then it's just not fun. I don't know why I did that. Those guys aren't affected by holes in the wall, holes in the ground, in any way, shape, or form. But yeah, it's just something you want to, pay attention to, because that's just, you want a streamlined chip folder. The less letters you have in your chip folder, the more like attacks you can do during one turn, the stronger you'll get. Whenever you're in rooms like this, you want to scan the entire area, because more likely than not, I guess this room is an exception because it's the first one we're encountering, but more likely than not, there's items to pick up. As you probably noticed, I picked up a lot of green and blue items. Green items are random, and they'll give you a random thing. But blue items are fixed. They'll always give you the same thing, and more likely than not, they're really, really useful. They're usually stuff like HP memory or really good, important chips. Like the copy damage we picked up was from a chip. Was from Blue Mystery Data. So make sure you pick up all of that. So now we're going to do our homework, right? Now that we did the message from Mom. No, now Dad has stuff for us to do. I swear our parents are helping us procrastinate. It's the best thing ever. I don't know if this homework is ever going to be done, actually. Oh my gosh, I'm trying to stand up because I need to pick up something, but it's being horrible. So sorry if I'm not paying too much attention to the story. I'm sorry, I thought shit just was about to get real, but it turns out I just accidentally paused my emulator. I'm emulating this too. Such a maverick. I'm pirating the internet. The internet's helping me pirate this game about the internet. Very, very horrible. Let's tell Mom we're leaving, of course, because we're nice people. Tell your father I said hi. That's right. Okay, so here we are in the outside world. First and foremost, you want to jack into anything and everything when you go to new areas, and I guess our town is the first new area. Because again, as I stated before, there's probably all kinds of goodies you can find in here, like right here. Regular up 2. We need, at the beginning of the game, we need a lot of that. I will say that this game is going to be really difficult to figure out what battles I want to keep in and what battles I want to cut. Because, like, it's kind of, the battles are really short. I mean, at the most, they only last, like, just a few seconds. Depending on whether or not you get a good chip setup. Like, right now, I kind of just got gypped. But I mean, otherwise, like, at the max, they'll take maybe, like, 40 seconds. I guess that is a long battle, because that adds up over time. So again, if I don't have anything to actually say during the battle, or, right now where I just kind of screwed myself because I was talking mid-battle, or if I didn't have anything to show, this is something worth showing. These guys can attack you if there's a hole in the ground, using terrain and tactics. Very nice. Make sure you exploit stuff like that to your advantage, because this game is all about strategy. It's what I really like about this game. It's all about, like, using chips strategically and organizing your folders strategically and moving around strategically and attacking strategically. It's it's a fun little strategy game. Again, I wouldn't call it an RPG. People call these this is the RPG series of the Mega Man games. I don't really buy that. I mean, I guess it's the closest thing you could describe it to, but really, as I've stated before, I think these games are just so unique that there's not really anything you can compare them to. Unless I'm not thinking of anything. If you guys have any idea, I'd love to hear it, because I'd love to play more games like this. But yes, we've been going on for quite long enough. I kind of want to keep these parts quasi-short. In the next part, we'll be gathering up our friends and going into Scilab. But until then, this has been Skittflash. Hope you've enjoyed watching. Bye!